Hey, welcome back to another video. It's Frankie Marayan, and I help e-commerce brands and online brands make more money through back-end ecosystems. And today, we're specifically going to be talking about hypnosis. I know it's a little off topic, but I really am excited to talk to you today about hypnosis because it is one of the cornerstones of copy, of marketing, and life. So before we get started, you know how we like to do. We want to make sure we understand the word. And right above me, you'll see that hypnosis is defined as a focused, trance-like state of heightened awareness and concentration. It's often described as being deeply absorbed in a book or a movie, during which a person is more receptive to suggestion. So, just a little backstory, guys. I'm 25 years old now, and the power of the mind, I didn't truly understand it growing up throughout life. Like I believe most of us don't, right? We're not really in school learning about the subconscious mind. And there's a backstory here, but as you might have watched in my previous video, that I failed five businesses. And I failed five businesses because I didn't understand marketing, I didn't understand copy, and some of the more foundational business aspects of getting my brand out there. And going through this journey of failing and getting a little uh, reward here, getting a little reward there, I've always was fascinated with hypnosis, but just never could put my eye on why hypnosis looked like it worked. Like I never seen it in person, but it just looked like people were really susceptible to another person's will. And going through COVID, which was now 5 years ago, over 5 years ago now, in 2020, and I think the social media platforms, and more recently TikTok, has been exposed into the way they've been encapsulating over the human brain, the way they've been able to manipulate people and doing things they want. Like people are hooked to their phones now, spend hours and hours of their day, not because of work, but because it's a form of entertainment. It's a form of dopamine release and serotonin decrease. So hypnosis is at the fundamental state of marketing. That is what I truly believe in. And going through my journey of understanding copy, understanding marketing, and starting to look at people writing hooks, look at the big advertisers. I would prefer to say, when you're watching the Sunday night game football, or you're watching the other football, La Liga or something, or you're watching basketball, you're watching baseball. Pay attention to the amount of times they advertise during those games. Like, yeah, we can sit here and talk about, all right, they know who they're targeting. That's why they're making these certain type of ads. But why do the biggest companies with the biggest marketing budgets play their advertisement more than once in under 10 minutes, in under 5 minutes, right? Like logically thinking, yeah, I want to make sure my ad it's seen a lot of times, but if you peel back the layer underneath that, it's why do they want to make sure that their ad is seen many times? And growing up in school, you might have heard that red indicates that you're hungry. It auto suggests to you that you're hungry, or blue means you're thirsty. That's why McDonald's is red, and Aquafina and all the other Deer Park water, like that's why they're blue. But I arrived to my point that hypnosis is the reason why these companies market multiple times throughout any given time. They try to market as many times as they can. And it's not to get you to purchase directly, it's not for direct response marketing, it's actually for the longer term. Hypnosis is a longer form of marketing tactic. And all it does fundamentally is embed the idea in your mind. It embeds their idea that they want you to think in your mind subconsciously. And so what is a subconscious before I even start going forward. So right above me, you might see that subconscious is the part of the mind of which one is not fully aware, but which influences one's actions and feelings. So in human terms, that just means the things you're not aware of influence you. But in order to get into the things in order to get into someone's mind and they're not aware of it, is you have to meet them in the right place. You have to not trick them, but you have to fundamentally get into their mind without them having their guards up. So that is the best type of hypnosis and marketing, where you're not even knowing that you're being marketed to. That's why the power of copy is the power of copy, because the better you can write it, the less you are susceptible to believing you're being sold to. So I mean, a guy that I've paid attention to of how I write my VSL is Ravi Abuvela, and I kid you not, I noticed in some of his YouTube videos that he has a certain way he structures his YouTube videos that it's a form of selling, but he's giving you such great value at the same time that you don't even know that he's selling to you. He's embedding into your unconscious mind, subconscious mind, that he is the person to go to once you're at the specific level. He's talking to you in a specific way, and he's structuring his YouTube videos in a certain way that is basically a long-term VSL. Just he mastered it, right? So whether it's his intention to hypnotize or not to hypnotize, I don't think the best marketers, they go in with the intention of like, hey, like let's hypnotize these people. But I do believe they go in with the fact of let's be memorable to these people. Hypnosis is like such a cool tactic, because when you start to really go in and study hypnosis, you start realizing it's embedding small things throughout the users or the person or the ideal customer or throughout their journey. And so how it relates to what I service, which is back-end ecosystem marketing, is the power to use your back-end ecosystem, which is email, SMS, retargeting, data collection, data cleaning, attribution, using all of these different touch points and using that data to make better decisions to ultimately embed your marketing into your user subconscious mind. Now, before I proceed forward, hypnosis has a negative connotation to it because of what we see on like America's Got Talent or some of these talk shows, like you're not being able to control yourself. But the cool thing about hypnosis that I've been studying is the fact that people actually use a medical grade level of hypnosis in order to maybe trick themselves or remove themselves. I don't want to use that word, but they remove themselves from a traumatic experience or an addiction or things of that nature. And there are positive aspects of hypnosis. And the fact that it's being done to you right now, by listening to this video, I want you to look at the things throughout your day and just see how people are embedding certain things. When I mean people, I'm going to say businesses, because businesses definitely use the power of marketing and use the power of auto suggestion in order to, get you to move towards a certain direction. Look at, if you watch Netflix or if you watch TV or if you're on your phone on Instagram, or if you're a business owner, you're in the tunnels, you're grinding, but you have to get on social media just to, market your content or look at your competitors or things of that nature. Go to the top of the brass, go to the top and look not only how many times they post, look at where they post and how they post and the things they're saying. All right. And I guarantee you, at the top of the brass, not the people that are doing 6 or 7 figures a month, I'm talking about the people doing 9 figures a month. They're playing the long game, and hypnosis is the long game. It's the ability to move people towards a specific direction that you want them to. You're not forcing them to. They're thinking they're making the decision on themselves, but they're really not. And when I started realizing that this is what the big software companies are doing. This is what the big retail DTC brands are doing. They're playing the long game. They're not always doing direct response marketing. They're doing marketing to embed into your subconscious mind. Now, there's that form of marketing, playing the long game, but there's also different ways to hypnotize from what I've been seeing, and it can be through entertainment. It can be through various aspects. It's fundamentally just trying to get the user to make a decision through auto suggestion that you would want them to. Another big guy that I listen to actually reprogram my brain is a guy named Joseph Rodriguez on YouTube. And I listen to a bunch of Neville Goddard and, Napoleon Hill, people of that nature, Malcolm X, people that understand the power of speech and that understand the power of tonality, the power of words, and the power of the longer term. It's fascinating to me. I don't really have a lot to say about it, but going on this journey of understanding marketing from the front end and the back end, it all comes together. So there's a great book too, and I know I'm jumping from resource to resource, but there's a book by I believe his name is Robert. I'm not going to butcher his last name, but he wrote the book Persuasion, a good book that a friend recommended to me. Terry, he recommended this book to me, and I kid you not, when I was reading this book, this is a big sales book. This author has written many, many books. He wrote a book called Persuasion, great book. Still getting through these books, so I can't, talk about it too much. However, one thing I've understood was that the fundamentals of sales, the fundamentals of copy, the fundamentals of marketing all root back to the power of the mind. And what is the field of study of that? That's called psychology. Psychology, if you want to start a business and you want to sell products or services, understanding psychology is like the cheat code. That is what I am realizing. Like reading books like Persuasion, How to Influence People, How to Win Friends and Influence People, that book by Dale Carnegie. You start to understand it's all about human nature and understanding human nature at its core. And I'm learning this throughout the process, right? But when you start understanding human nature at its core and understanding the different sides of human nature, you can then build better offers or build better copy or build better omni-channel marketing campaigns that will resonate with your target audience. So this video was really just to talk about how human psychology is the fundamentals. And you won't get human psychology just by reading books all day. You're going to get human psychology just by being out in the world and studying people, right? Like that's what science is. Science and marketing and all these different tactics, they've learned it through studying. Sales, that's been perfected by some people, or I would say some organizations, or perceived as perfection through rigorous testing. All right, so hypnosis, people have arrived, businesses arrived to the point where they can continually reach out to people through hypnosis, through these ads that they're intending to do hypnosis through rigorous testing. Do you think that they're spending millions and millions of dollars on ads to only show once? Now, on something like the Super Bowl, that's done, but the other brands that actually, they pay real big money for the Super Bowl, they show their ads more than once. Now, like all the new ads are kind of front loaded right before halftime and right after halftime, but just look again, even after the Super Bowl, there are ads running, like the same exact ads that you might have found like, oh, that's cool, or oh, that was kind of like shitty. They still run again, even though they spent millions upon millions just to get that first slot and just play once. So yeah, hypnosis and the ability to embed your marketing and embed your brand into someone's subconscious mind is, in my opinion, one of the biggest cheat codes of all time, and it's something that I'm actively trying to do with my business. And if you're interested in that, understanding how I'm doing that, you can subscribe to this channel, like this video, share with a friend, or share with a friend that might not be starting a business, but they are just intrigued about human psychology and intrigued about, growing in general. But if you're interested in embedding human psychology into your brand in a scientific way using back-end ecosystems and frameworks, please book a call with my business and we will definitely do that for you. We have 2 different versions of how we do this for your brand. And if you're intrigued, just go to our website and book a call. I would love to talk to you one-on-one. But back to the subject here of hypnosis. And hypnosis, I can't say it enough. It is one of the most fascinating things about human psychology because we don't understand everything about it. Or maybe I don't understand everything about it just yet, but it's about the human brain. It's about shifting someone's intention to be in your favor. And whether you call that devious or not, or manipulation, it's being done. It's being done. It's being done all the time. As soon as you hop on Instagram, you have an algorithm that is feeding you exactly what they want. Facebook makes a majority, before they bought Oculus and everything in between, they made a majority of their money through ads. Instagram, TikTok shops. How these businesses or these mega companies, these unicorns are growing is because they are understanding things about you in order to pitch things to you. Because the big brands and companies, they need to sell their stuff. Whether it's software, whether it's services, whether it's your products, whether it's from a different country, it doesn't matter. In order for this economy to work, we need to sell things and people need to buy things. But in order to sell things to those people, we need to understand things about those people. How do we do that? We market, we test. Is this offer good or is it not? I don't know because I haven't tested it. So if there's anything you take away from this video, I would love for you just to go outside. Go if you're near a big city, perfect. Like that's the perfect. You're like a guinea pig. Go outside, go across the street, go into a corner store, go into the metro area and just see how many ads are around you. And then count how many times it shows. If it's a digital display, just count how many times it shows. Or if you're watching TV, just count how many times an ad shows to you in one day. And then do it the next day. And then after a week, don't count it for a week, but after a week, see if that ad changes up a lot. A lot of times these companies, what they do is they start showing you a specific type of ad up front. We call that, like top of the funnel. Like you might not even be aware that you even want these guys, or you have a pain, or you even know about them. But they do that to first embed you into their sphere, into their ecosystem. And then they start adding different style of ads to consistently train you on this brand. A big company that's doing this right now that I notice they're everywhere is Base 44. And when I mean they're everywhere for me. Because we're living in an era where everything's personalized. All right? But for you, I guarantee you there is a brand that is targeting you heavy. And if they're targeting you heavy, that means they have the budget, or they may have the wherewithal to understand they can't continue to show you this same ad, because this ad was just for awareness, to get you aware. Now they're going to start pushing you down to get you to the point where they're trying to either sell you or educate you on the product. And now you're really in their unconscious mind, subconscious mind. And then eventually they're going to get curious to click on that ad, or click on that email, or click on that SMS. And then boom, you either have a sale, or you're just stringing them down along, trying to get them eventually to get that sale, or whatever your goal is. So this video again was about the subconscious mind, and then how it relates to marketing, and how it's a form of hypnosis and marketing, or hypnosis is a form of marketing in the subconscious mind. I thank you for watching this video and taking the time to listen to me. And, it's always a value to have people watch me and spend time, because every waking second and millisecond is valuable because we don't get it back. Be aware if you're being hypnotized. That's what I'm going to leave you with. Have a good day. Stay safe and stay dangerous. And I'll see you in the next video.